happens in one direction from the halfway point happens the other direction as well the same way. So whatever happens from here to here also happens from here to here, exactly the same. That means that your 1/3 point here, if you just take your fingers, you don't move them, and you go here like that, that's where you're going to find the exact same thing right there. That point. 1/4, 1/5, 1/6, all of that stuff. So when you have this, you also that would be where your 5th fret, if you took the guitar and folded it in half and just like made little spots where all the frets were aligned from this direction, like this fret 7, that's what you get. So you can chirp from all those points as well. So instead of going from here, that's how you get those things. Just knowing the division points and what multiple of the frequencies you're going to get. Now, here's the interesting thing about this, is that what are we doing when we're fretting down the string? Don't think about the fretboard, think about the string. We are shortening the length of the string. So, if it is an actual mirror from the middle, that everything that happens in one direction happens in the other, that means that if you go from here to here, shorten it that much, you can do it here. Hold that down and shorten the length of the string from this direction, as if you're pressing down an invisible first fret here, like that. So, with this in mind, here's what you can do. Let's say you want to go like this. Let's say you want to go quicker. This distance from here to here, you're shortening, you're taking this note, and you're shortening the length of the string by that much. So, you can do that from this direction. And you can do it to the other notes too. So everything that happens in one way happens the other. That's why you got to picture the middle of the string as this visible sort of mirror that's standing up, that whatever you're doing in one way can also be done the other way. Kind of anti-mattering matter, or yin-yang, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that's what's going on with the string. So what you need to do is stop thinking about the neck and think about the string. All the things you can do by shortening the length of the string at certain points to get different sounds out of them that you may not be able to get from frets alone. So all that kind of stuff. Like, let's say you want to go. Shorten the length of the string, now you're going to get access to like that, where normally you can really get it. But it's, you know what I'm talking about. Any questions with that? No? Good.
Where do you get the idea from? Initially?
From having way too much time on my hands. Just staring down at the guitar and saying, what's going on with these strings? You just start to notice little things about them. Mostly I just notice it with the harmonics and just noticing where they are, noticing the 12, 7, 5, 4, 3, and how, the 4th fret, that's 1/5 the length of the string, and how it follows the same number pattern the way everything is divided. Next one is 5 frets higher, 7 frets higher, and 12 frets higher. And realizing that you don't really need the frets. They're just a backing marker, just a visual guide. But really, all you're doing is just division points, just dividing lengths of the string to get different things out of it. So, yeah, and it doesn't have to be an exact, precise thing. And that's what happens with the fretless, is that you're shortening lengths of string and you're just doing it without exact markers. So, strings. Yay, we like strings. So, other questions?
Is the thing on your finger from a sewing kit?
Mm-hmm.
It is?
It's my mom's.
Uh,
She's like, where is it? Yeah. About 25 years ago, I took one out of my mom's sewing kit. I was like, I need something. I need a fret that I can move. I need to put a fret on my finger. I needed something metal. Because, what are you doing? You're taking the string, you're pressing it against the fret. So don't think of it as pressing a string against a fret, just think of it as a string and a fret touching together. Doesn't matter who's initiating it, the fret or the string, but they're coming together to shorten the length of the string at that point. So you're just doing the same thing. A string and a fret are coming together to shorten the length of the string. Well, sometimes they get magnetized and they stick into that. But so yeah, that's pretty much. And then figuring out just the things you can do there. That's how you can start making the guitar talk a little more with it, by using it to sort of just move the nut a little bit. And somebody has this like other little kind of weird voice to it. So yeah, that's where that came from. Thank you. More question.
What were your practice routines like when you first started playing?
All right, well, when I first started, the very beginning, there's a series of books called Mel Bay, and still remember every single one of them. So I spent about 4 years just reading and academics and more theory, and then got into jazz and classical and all that good stuff. So started off, it was just a whole lot of that. And then eventually it became this one always messed me up. I could never get this finger flat and this rounded. It took me a whole year trying to get down in the F chord, and I used to always do it like this, and my teacher would be like, no, you can't do that, you gotta get this finger down, you gotta flatten that out like that. So, yeah, got it eventually. So, yeah, just that, and then starting to understand, whole, half, half, all that crap. And then, with that, it's like, all right, but then what if we take that, and what if we flatten down this, and then the whole mood changes. And then let's raise the fourth and make it enlightened. It's still cool. And then I started writing all kinds of weird songs with it. This stuff that you're experimenting with, they call it jazz. And then, of course, getting into classical and all that, But I never wanted to let go of my pick. I was like, nah, I want to be able to use this. I don't want to have to drop my pick to do anything. So, then next thing you know, you're chicken picking, which is just classical. And then the whole time I was doing all of that stuff, really from the very beginning, I was writing songs. From the minute I touched a guitar, it was just a tool that I was using to write songs, along with singing and a little cassette recorder in the corner of the room. And that was it. So I couldn't really play yet, but I just wrote songs with whatever I was able to do. And then you realize that you only have to be good enough to play your own stuff. As long as you can play your own music well, then you're good. That's all. If your music goes, as long as you do that well, then you're good. You don't have to do any of the other fancy schmancy crap. So at the very beginning I was 6 years old and I was just writing a lot of songs about the planets, because that's all little 6-year-old kids interested in. So all the songs are just like, Jupiter's nice, dig my advice, I say nice. Until, then got a little bit better, and I was listening to a lot of Kiss and AC/DC and stuff like that. So the songs started getting like real, just like sleazy, they all sound like old Kiss songs. It's like, so you had the bassist and the guitar player were doing that, and the drums were just like this, just real, just slowed down, kind of. And I had this little guitar, I was going. And the singer was sang just whatever he played, I was living near a zoo. People say like I was a fool. That was a song from 1977 called Fantastic Dream that me and my neighbor wrote. He was 9, I was 7 at the time. Yeah, it was a cool song. And then it was this other change. It was like this whole epic thing from there. It was like, So that was my band back when I was 7 years old, and we were doing shows, we were playing concerts at the school across the street, in my backyard, in my basement. I would cut up all day little pieces of paper and make cups of confetti so that at the end of the show everybody throws it in the air. Seriously, did all that stuff. Basically everything that I still do, I was doing then. It's just, now I don't have to cut up my own confetti anymore. Now it comes in big packets that you shoot out of cannons at 10,000 people. So what was I doing back then? What was my practice regimen? So I would be doing all the, learning classical pieces and going over the jazz theory, And then every day I would try and learn one album. I would just take an album and I would try and learn every single song by ear. By the time I learned the last one, I already forgot the first one, but I would just do that anyway. So I would take any album that there was. I would take Scorpions' Blackout. Van Halen album. And I'll try and sing it too, because it wasn't just about that, it was about the song. And you try and do them both together. That was always an important thing. It's like, if you can have this hand do one thing and this one do another, that means that you can have your hands do one thing while your mouth does something else. You just got to get used to doing that. So you just stop thinking about it, you don't make it happen, you just let it happen. Oh, my baby, she's tired, watching me fall down. Once a good life, on the bell, but I like that bottle better than the Yeah, I know that you're heading for a whole lot of trouble. I still remember that one, because what I did with that one too is that I put it on a cassette, and then I opened up the cassette, I reversed the reels, put it back together, so every song was backwards. And then I learned the whole album backwards, just so that I could just learn new Scorpion songs that don't exist. Yeah, and then I did that. Also, I did it for, what do you call it? Eruption. So I learned it backwards. I reversed the tape, so instead of it, doing like the whole, so it would start off with. But actually, it didn't go that way. It had to go this way. Because the last note is first, so it's not 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, it's 3, 2, 1. And then, it was weird. So yeah, and I just learned the whole damn song backwards. And I would do that too. So it's like you just want to challenge your ears. And then I would go downstairs to the record player, and I had all these old Speed 78 classical albums from my grandmother and my uncle. So there was this one Tchaikovsky one. So I would just drop the needle for a couple of seconds, get as much as you can in your brain, lift it up, hold it in your head, find it. Stuff like that. You just take music, take sound, and get it in your head as if someone told it to you, and then say, all right, now how can I retell this to someone else using my language that I speak? And you want to do that with an entire song. You don't want to just do it with this linear thing. You don't want to just have this one line that you say with this. You want to be able to say it all at once. You want to be able to give as many details and as much resolution to that story so that people really get it. Whatever is important to that story to you. Try and get everything in there that you feel is integral to the story that you're trying to tell. So whatever that stuff is, you want to make sure that if you're playing a song and it's got a certain beat to it, you got to beat the snare drum with this hand. So that people know, like without having to hear it, they know that the beat is just by the way you're hitting everything, with the accents and the way you're clamping things off to almost give it a snare drum in the tone, by just giving it the dirt and the white noise of a snare drum. So, let's say you want to boom, 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 boom. get everything in there. Make it more interesting. Don't just do one line. Don't just go, I don't know, what's an example? Pick a song, any song.
Sweet
Give me a
Child.
song.
Sweet child.
Oh, God. Okay. Okay. If I just go. That could mean anything if someone never heard the song before. They might think that the song goes. They don't know. So you need to give them more. You need to be able to tell a little bit more about that story. You need the foundation that that melody is sitting on and include that in there. And put it all in there. Yeah. And then you find that, you mean all I got to do is take a solo? It's like, no problem. It makes it very easy to improvise and to say what you feel when you've developed it to the point that you can say so much at once that, just grabbing a guitar and improvising with your friends becomes very easy and very quick. It's like juggling one ball instead of three. So that's what you want to do, is you want to train your brain, because the music does not come from your hands. You got to remember that. It leaves you at your hands. The music ends at your hands. It disappears at your hands. All the music is before it ever gets to your hands. That's where the music is. And that's the stuff that you really need to exercise and you need to build up and you need to really focus on and become one with, and all that hippie stuff. You need to really get connected. It's true. You need to, your heart, your mind, your soul, all that stuff. You need to be in touch with that. And that needs to be very open, and you need to have a direct line to it. And it leaves you at your hands. So to make better music, it's not about practicing stuff with your hands. It's about living life and feeling all kinds of shit. And that's what's going to lead to good stories that you have to tell when you do decide you have something you want to say. And you pick this thing up to say it. So, yeah. Questions? More? I can just talk about this forever now. Yeah.
How was it like working with Axl Rose?
Everything you can imagine. That's all I'll say. As everybody chuckles. It's like working with anybody, anybody you work with, any two human beings you get together and put into a million different scenarios. Sometimes it's going to be good, sometimes it's going to be bad, and there's going to be a whole lot in between. That's just normal. Yeah, everybody's human, for the most part. What else? Any questions? I don't have anything to do with Guns N' Roses.
Could I ask you to listen to three or four of our guitar players as they do one song, and then comment on what the difference is between what they do and what you did at the stage that you were when you were at that stage?
Sure. Who wants to come up with something? Don't be shy, man. There you go, come on.
Only them.
I have one more question.
Sure.
What string gauge do you use?
This one is 9 to 46, and this one is 12 to 56. 12 is definitely one better. It's a little bit more nerve. So yeah, let me get out of your way here. Always make sure you're in tune.
Did you hear that, guys? Always make sure you're
Woo! I did.
A especially when you're recording. Do not screw up everybody's work by being on the tune. Check your tuning as soon as you start the song, as soon as you stop the song, as soon as you start the song again. Keep checking your tuning when you're recording. Do not screw up the song with your out-of-tune crap. Tone. This has been a public service announcement. Please, yes. Check volumes. Let's see, what do you all got? Hit your drum. Play great. It's nice to see guitar players that have good pocket and don't rush in front and pay attention to the drummer and the groove. You guys do that. It's great. Always. You're well aware of that. You are well aware of rule number 1 that guitar players tend to forget. The drummer is the boss. Don't you hate that? Because yeah, you always want to blame the drummer for everything. I mean, it's fun. I'm rushing ahead. The drummer's playing too slow. No, the drummer lays the groove and you guys ride that groove. In fact, even with Gene on, that was the whole thing with it. You know, Steven would speed up, he would slow down, he was not a metronome, he was a guy that played from, real energy that would just, he was the real deal with that stuff. And that's what made the band sound like it did. If it was to a click, wouldn't have worked. Would not have sounded right. And the guys stayed on his groove, and wherever he went, they followed. They didn't step on it, they didn't rush ahead, they didn't try and control it or dominate it or anything. He was Buddy Rich, it was his orchestra, and they followed. And that's what makes it good. And you guys have that. You play in the right place. That's good. Because honestly, it is more important to play the wrong notes in the right place than the right notes in the wrong place. You're better off playing like crap with good groove than playing all the right notes with no feel. Definitely. Fortunately, you guys don't have that problem at all either way, so good on you guys. Excellent. Nice. I was not expecting you to play that song. Wow. Well done, good singing. Really cool. Haven't heard that song in a while.
Whatever you do, you always land on the one. It's always very descriptive. If your lines end on the second beat, then it's very descriptive of that. So you put everything in service of showing us where the time is. Not only the stuff that you were talking about before, where you said you want that information with the snare drum sound as well. You use that, but also just your lines. So maybe you can talk about how you get that precision. Does it have something to do with practicing sequences with a metronome, or is it that you have conviction about the music first and you put what you do in service of that?
It's sort of a combination of all of that. I mean, when you don't have a drummer to play with, that's what your metronome is. That's your drummer, and you're playing to it. So, and there's a lot of ways that it can help you. For one thing, actually, the best thing I ever was forced to do metronome-wise was when I first started taking jazz lessons. And I walked into my first day, I wanted to show off. I was like, it's like, oh, cool, okay. he set the metronome, he set it to 40 beats per minute. And then made me play a scale lagging on that beat. So it was like, had to be after it. Couldn't make you get right on it, but don't ever get in front of it. Always stay a little behind. Maybe do that for like 45 minutes until I learned how to behave. It was the equivalent of putting a kid in a corner facing the wall. Saying, you're going to stay there until you calm down. But you know what? It taught me discipline. And then from there, he started making me do things with doing it with the triplets. Of the 1 and as soft as possible on the 2 and the 3. So it was like. And doing it soft on the 1, loud on the 2, soft on the 3. Then he did like something to 3. 1, 2. So he would make me do that for like 45 minutes. And it really helped. And you find that when it comes time to do some kind of fast run, instead of it being very, it starts happening. These like little pushes and pulls in there. I should pull this back a little more so you hear it even more. Like those little pops of accents. Very important. Dynamics, is an important thing. Even on those fast runs that you're going to do, you want to have little things that pop out. Otherwise, it's talking like this, where every single word has the exact same thing going on within it. Really doesn't mean as much as opposed to if certain times pause or you punch a certain word to give it some more inflection to mean something a little bit more. So that's what you want to do here as well. Just you don't want it to be stiff. Little punches in there and stuff makes a difference. So yeah. What else? Oh yeah. What was the question again about metronome? Or I went on a tangent. What was the original question?
No, that was exactly it. Thank you.
Okay. So yeah. Jazz. Ooh, want to do another song to a backing track? What do you think? Let me see if I can get a little prettier sound coming out of this thing. It's a little. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's just going to sound the way it's going to sound. But.
You said you were taking jazz lessons. Did you have access to the teachers that were teaching at Rutgers at the jazz department?
Oh, this was like way back when I was just like 14, 15 years old. So I did not have access to those wonderful people. But I had a guy, his name was Pete Crisco, and he was total old school, like the real deal. It was all just like, today